It's been a while. I know, it's been a while. But at the end, here I am. This is the fourth episode of... This show doesn't even have a name. Of Unreal Editor Mapping. That's how it's called, it's so boring. Yeah, of mapping with Seth Deckham or whatever you want it to be. As I promised, although it took some time, and I apologize for that, but I have managed to put some basic lighting. There are a couple of reasons why it takes so much time, and I'm going to explain that in a very short time. But in the meantime, you can see that pretty much everything is well lit. As we progress, there are going to be some things that we will modify and stuff like that. And the reason why it took so much time, now I'm gonna get onto it, is first off, I needed to learn a lot of things in the mapping, and right after the last episode, I didn't have much time to do that. Also because I was working a lot, and with all the things, I didn't quite have much time to actually sit on the computer and do what I was planning to do. But in the end, here we are, ready to map. So what I wanted to obtain, going at first to these things, was a light that was a bit diffused and that wouldn't leave an ugly little light spot right at the center of the panel. And like an idiot, I totally ignored this yellow thing. Now you should be able to see my cursor. No, you don't, so I'm going to show it. You should actually be able to see it. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Okay, so what I ignored was basically this little yellow thing, which you can adjust under source radius and source length. So in a very few words, I'm going just to copy that so that you can see it. The source length is pretty much self-explanatory. It shows how long the cylinder is going to be. So I'm going to turn from 550 to 750, and you see the cylinder has gone longer. With source radius, you will basically adjust the, so to speak, thickness. So from 75, let's add 300, and now you see a pillar of some sort. What is contained in this pillar? What contained in this pillar is basically, as the term says, the source of the light itself. Basically how big the lamp is gonna be in its shape. Basically, you can make it a pillar or a cone, a cylinder. Well, not really a cone, a cylinder, or even a ball. You just need to put source length to 0, and the light source is going to be a ball. Its size, you determine it with source radius. For example, 5, which is really, really small. With that, I managed to find much more commodity. You can see these cylinders now having a bit more shape. And I also adjusted a bit of indirect lighting and stuff. But then a problem came out. As you can see, especially in this case, the light map is it's pretty bad. That is due to the surface. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to make a test of it, if you select the surface, there is a small option almost at the very end called light mass and light map resolution. In the surfaces, and note only in the surfaces, which means BSP, which is basically what I based the whole map on. Not this though. These are static meshes. And for those, there's another thing to talk about. But still, going back onto the surface, for those, you can modify it to be smaller. If you make it smaller, you'll have higher quality. Please note, always make it in multiples, in powers of 2. Then with light mask settings, there are several other things you can modify. If, for example, you want the surface to be lit on the other side as well of the surface, but in this case, it's totally useless, we don't need it. Or to show exclusively indirect lighting, if, for example, you don't want, if I got it correctly, if you don't want basically that big ball to appear, and other things like that. So now we're going to build it, to rebuild the lighting, and please note how bad the quality is onto the surface. Now we're going to rebuild the lighting. Let me make sure, yeah, it's now set to 2 instead of the default 32. And if we rebuild it, now the lighting should have a bigger quality. Please note, this will increase the building time, so I would suggest doing that at the very end. But literally the last thing to do, because it will increase the loading time. So the light's been built. Come on. And you can see it's a lot better than the previous. So now I'm going to reset it to 32, which is the default. And now for one surface, the building times doesn't change much. The building time does not change much. Oh my god, my English today. I also had the same problem on a previous stream on another channel. But if you apply this to the whole map, which has roughly several hundreds or several thousands of surfaces, that will make quite a big difference. So now let the thing load, and you see now again the crappy blocky ball. For the static meshes instead, now I'm going to select these. Yeah, you see, I could have picked up a better example here, but you guys got the idea. For the static meshes instead, let me see if I can. This might do. Under under lighting, you can take overridden light map resolution, and this you want it to be, as you can see, the lighting on the selected static meshes has changed only on the selected ones. In this case, just one. And this one instead, you might want it to be bigger. How big? That depends on the static mesh itself and the importance of it. In a small static mesh, I would go for 128. If the static mesh was, so to speak, this whole block, I would have gone for something like 1024 or 2048. Also because it's at the very center of the map and there are a lot of lights. In this case, there are just 2 or 3 lights and it's very small. So now we're going to rebuild it to show a bit of a difference. After that, there is one more thing about lighting that I should show you, and it's again connected to the BSP, and I should have perhaps said it in the first episode. I don't know if some of you who have seen the first episode remember. Okay, now the static mesh looks still crappy, so I might have made a mistake. It was actually looking better before. That is because I have under lighting info, light map density rendering light map resolution adjustment. As a minimum I set 32 and a maximum 256, which should override by default. However, this is disabled, so I don't know what went on. Let's rebuild just for a comparison. Okay, well, it was looking better before. Not that much, but okay, it made a bit of a difference, so maybe I should have made it still bigger. Another thing I would like to show you is strictly related to each and every single BSP block that you build, meaning this, this, and this. You have a big example here. There is a line, properly a line of lighting between the two, because each surface, even if parallel, they will have different draw calls and the lighting will react differently, which means in a room with so many of them put together like Lego blocks, you will have something horrible like this. So let it serve as an example. Try to use as many BSP as possible, as less BSP as possible. So in this episode we are going to put the first static meshes, the first decorations. As you could see a little bit here and there, like here I've put some more blue panels, and here as well. I'm aiming onto putting some more and maybe do the first materials, like proper materials. I also should add some decorations here and there on this area as well. But overall the lighting was done. Not fully, not totally, but bits and bobs have been done. And here as well. I also modified this part of the room of the teleporter so that it would be a bit more obvious. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And without further ado, oh, I forgot one thing. Onto my folder, I have added new materials, which are like these ones, but with custom colors. Because since this map is predominantly blue, that would have been quite unfair in team games, specifically for the blue team. So I would modify all the blue surfaces to be green or yellow. So I'm going to select this one. Matching material, and now everything is green. Almost everything. I preferred it blue, but I think I can get used to it. Which means I should also modify the glowing material and all the related lights, unfortunately. Or I can even make it yellow. However, yellow might be a bit unfair for the red team. Green is a good meeting point between red and blue. Makes direct contrast with red, and it's quite distinct from green. Yeah, blue, sorry. My coloring's being crappy. These ones, gonna make them black or even darker. I've also made the grid black just for the sake of it. Okay, now I have more materials, more tutorial related materials. But I was getting quite used to the blue. Okay, never mind. But this one I'm gonna make it red. Because it would be this one would be the only map, literally the only map that I've ever done without any touch of red. So I have to, it's a thing of mine, just for myself. I have to do something red on my map, on my maps. I always have to. So I'm going to do this lift, which is in a corner. It doesn't matter if there's a red player there. If they go there, you would hear them anyways, so piss that. Okay, so what I was planning to do on this episode, we have this tiny little lights everywhere, but there is nothing related to them. You just see the lights, and that's it. Where do they come from? It's unknown. And we are intended to fix it here. But I don't really know where to start. So I would just start from here. Just picked up random. Okay, so this is to be a ceiling light. This one here, the bright one. So I'm going to add one brush, which then I will, a subtractive brush, which then I will cover with static meshes, so that it will look less plain and less crappy and so on. So I'm going to, just for commodity, I will copy one brush that I already made, one of the many brushes I've already made. I'm gonna put it exactly where the light is. And then adjust its size. Obviously I want to make it not too tall, so that it will be 50 high, 50 centimeters. And we have a rough idea already. It should be here. Too high. Of course, this thing you can also do it with a perspective viewport, but normally I do that with the single grids, with the separate grids. Yeah, that should be it. And I want to make it roughly the size of the bigger circle, which would be here roughly, and I would say 600. No, 500. Which is a rough measure. It's slightly off, and I'm not quite amused by that. So I'm going to retake these, all of them. I'm gonna move them here, because it's more centered and I like it more. Yeah, that's more like it. But like that, it's a bit big, so I'm gonna do let's say 250. Yep. And then I'm going to make it look more like a light. I just move the upper edges to make it more like a lamp, an incoming light. I'm doing this also to show how many triangles now this light has. Like there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides, which are just too much. And this is something you want to avoid. There are several ways of getting rid of them. The easiest one, you select the brush under the geometry editing tool and click up optimize, and bam, you just got rid of them. Very plain, very simple, direct, straight, and blah blah blah. After that, you just rebuild. And then we are going to modify the materials. Okay. Obviously now you see this block which needs to go away. Now we're going back onto the place tool and we select some materials, but we will select something from the tutorials package. It's going to take a little. Obviously, again, save. I tried to do the lighting 3 times off camera, and 2 times I crashed right in the middle of it. It was very demotivating. And it got frozen. Brilliant. It got frozen. Okay. We're back at it. I want this material to be placed. Yeah. And then a light, I would say this emissive here. Now it looks a bit more like a light, although it's a bit off, but we are going to put it there just for this one looks better. Just so that it looks a bit better, a bit more convincing. As of here, instead, we will do something similar, but different at the same time. No, just joking. We do the same thing, just under different surfaces with different measures and different stuff. Okay. So first thing is to take the size of the light, which is 550 minus the balls, the ball halves, the round part. No, that's actually 550 without the things already. So we're going to create a brush which is like that. And we want to have it in a different place though. And we want to have it 50, 50, 550, the size. And this is roughly... Yep. That is exactly where I want it to be according to the X and Y axis. Although not according to the Z axis. Okay, should be here. Yep. Align with the bigger grid. However, we're not quite done yet. Okay. This should be a bit more. And now we're going to rebuild the geometry, only the geometry because it's faster. Okay, and now you have this light bulb, light base. It's not really a light bulb. Now back with the selection tool. There you go. Now we have the light, basically. The physical light. Okay. And there you have your lights. And it looks pretty good. And now we're going to do the same thing on all the lights. Although this one should be a bit higher. I would say here. So we will rebuild that later. This one, instead, we want, instead of 50, 50 and 550, we want 550, which is the length, and the rest 50. We obviously want to place it at the right place. Where else, otherwise? It's actually a bit small. So let's do 100. Okay, I'm feeling a bit stupid right now. Yes, that's the guy. And this one, maybe even 25. Obviously, it needs to be aligned. Yes, that's the one. This is the size that we want. Now going on to the other viewport. Why do I want these sizes? Because then the obliquous lines are exactly 45 degrees inclined, which is always good, especially for the static meshing. Now I'm going to build the geometry, then apply the textures, and then the rest comes really fast. Instead of building the light BSP operators one by one, I just need to copy, and then I'm good to go basically. So this is a cold light. Run tool, and I'm going to apply the other emissive light, and here the texture I want. Okay, now I have both lights basically. I'll build all, and during the building, since it takes usually a bit of time, I'll be back shortly. Okay, here I am. I hope I didn't make you wait too much. So basically we have our lights for this room. And now we just have this one to take care of. But we know the sizes, we know everything, so just gonna... oh, this one is missing. Okay, since I'm not going to have to deal with BSP operators much anymore, no, I should actually recreate it. Or I can just copy this one. Obviously I should align it. It's not perfectly centered, but there's the same distance at the walls, 2 blocks and 2 blocks and 2, yeah. Okay. This doesn't really look like 45 degrees, but yes, okay. Okay, so let's do this one here on the slant. And I'm going to copy this brush. Now this is going to be obviously off geometry, off grid, but that's okay anyways, because we are going to make it aligned. But it's going to be a bit hard to do it by eye. Okay, I think I should recreate it from scratch. so. Not a really good choice. I think I should copy the mesh and do it in another environment. But that's also I can use this brush actually as a guide. I will put it to additive so that I will distinguish it from the light itself. Okay. I don't know if it changes anything, actually. Not really, but I think this is the reason. Let's see how it looks. It looks better. But there is one thing we have to take care of still. And it can be... yeah, you can see it here. Now here the height is... the ratio is 1/5. No, I want this one, I said, and this one. Okay, the blue one, I don't need it anymore. Kind of scared to do that. No. No. Okay. Well, then let's see if we can create the face. Okay, now it's complete, but it's without line in the middle, but it has no face, basically. No. We'll still the same result. Okay, but it's not a big problem. Okay. I hope I didn't mess it up. It's still taking a bit, but okay, now it looks more like a floor light. Okay, for the moment I'll put these lights, but then, you know what? I'll do that later. I'll do it once they've all been set. I think it's faster. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Okay, so this light is, instead of 550, 250. So I'm going to copy one here. Place it at the same location and change it to 250. This one I'm gonna just leave it here so that I can select all the brush and then move it. Otherwise I risk to select the wrong brush. Okay. Now this one is at the same place. But this one here, the next one, this one is not slanted, meaning that I'll have to adjust it again. And we said it's 2 meters 50 tall. Yeah. Meaning that we will have this one be 250. The y-axis being 100 and no, this one was supposed to stay 25 and this one 100. Even though I was thinking to make it a bit... What if we do it like this instead? So that it looks a bit more similar to this one. Or I should modify this one instead. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. I'll modify the other one. Like that. It's much easier, like, to modify him like this, I would reckon. Although the values then at the end are more imprecise, but I think what matters is the geometry. Then there are different ways to make geometry. I prefer to put the to input the measurement units, but that's just my personal preference. At the end, it doesn't matter. Wrong selection. Right selection. Now let's build the geometry. For now, I'll just focus onto the geometry. And of course, I forgot one little thing. No. Okay, small question. Never mind. So now we are going to do this one. but I actually wanted to add one more light, which would be here. Yeah. And I froze again. I hope I didn't crash. Please don't crash, editor. Dear editor, do not crash, please. Okay. This light here for the super health. This one I'm gonna make it green. Bit more sature. And I think I'm just going to copy and paste this here. And this one I'm gonna copy here too. Two, three, four, five, 6 and a half roughly, and here I have 3 blocks and 6. So I think 6 and 2, 6 and 2. Yeah, now it's centered. And now build both geometry and lighting. Should take a little while. A little longer. I have made a small mistake while creating the materials. Like the copycat that I am, they result a little bit more reflective than their original counterparts. If I can show that. No, it doesn't let me anymore. Okay. Because I have set them to be metallic instead of plastic. But I don't think it matters anymore now. Okay, so we've done this part of the room and it looks a bit better. It looks a bit more like an actual room with proper lights on it. And yeah, now I'm going to add these two here. It's gonna be really, really simple. This is going to be a lot of copy paste. Yeah. build only the geometry for the time being. We don't need every single time to rebuild everything. I forgot to add one light here. Doesn't matter much. We will do that. Now it looks a lot more crappy. This is perfectly normal. Let's save again. One very hard lesson in a real editor. The longer you forget to save, the bigger is the risk you lose your data. Okay, now we have lights that actually look like lights, which is yay. Now we're doing this, the shock room, and we'll go then around all the room. And I've clicked on to build everything. Brilliant. But yeah, it's okay. Okay, let's do the playtest. Warning, warning, warning. Very high sound. High sound. I'll let it pass with the excuse that I'm not a native English talker. Yeah, you can see the bad lighting, and here the good one. Well, kinda. Now, except for the lighting itself being crappy, you can see actually the light sources that which look like actually coming from those light textures that we've built now. Here you can still see that blue orb. I think we'll work on that. But then there is another problem by building these. After placing all the lights, I think we should do it in time tonight. There should be no problem. There is one problem with collision, which is this. you can go through them. And especially in cases like this is going to be a bit immersion breaking. This is not really something that we want. And we will do that with the same thing that I've applied here. Right here. And they're called blocking volume. You get it here as well, but not here. You see? You cannot get through those bars. Or through here. However, heavy sound. The bullets go through, and here as well. Sorry enough for not warning. Okay, careful. Heavy sound. Again. Also flying projectile go through. Which is kind of what I always wanted to have. Okay, now we're out of the danger zone. And that we will fix it with this, which is a blocking volume. Wait, you see it better like this. This one is already set. If I remember, I will also explain you how these work. It's a bit of knowing the settings. Okay, so we've built the actual lights here. Here I will directly add a static mesh. Let's see, what does the editor propose? Let's see this one. It takes a bit because it has to load all the packages related to it. I'm just exploring some other assets which I might use. Everything that falls under the light filter. Okay, an example of light that I can use as a specific static mesh is this one here. Now I'm just going to place it. I'm actually going to place it here. Okay. And here we will modify its size with the scale factor to know which one goes in which direction. You can help yourself with this button and make sure that it shows a cube instead of a world. And if you heard the door opening, it's my girlfriend, don't worry. And you can see the arrows having colors accordingly to the different axes, and so do these small colors. And you can read X value, Y value, and Z value. It's pretty straightforward. In this case I made a mistake because the Z value goes that way. Which is not that much of a mistake, but still. Okay. Should be that. Just as a demonstration. Yeah, but I don't really like this, so let's try again with another, which looks better. So we're going to set this one. Obviously we're going to turn it. This is some testing that sooner or later we're supposed to do, so it's not really a waste of time. And there you go. Now this one is a bit less complicated. And we want to make it a bit tighter here. No, actually should be good. Yeah, it would be roughly something like this, but these are just some demonstrations of the various static meshes that Epic provided for you gently. Now another thing we can put is this one, for example. Obviously with size modification and everything. Obviously we also want it way smaller. And we can do 0.5, 0.5 and 0.5. Just an example. It will look like something like this. Wait a second to modify the height. Yeah, roughly like this. I keep missing that. Okay, this is a rough idea of what we can get of a light, but we have a lot to test with. I did all this because I want to change this one because I don't like it. These are just cables. And it froze again. Okay, we can even put something like this, but also not. We can even put something that little here and there as small emissive lights. These are always small details. Or even this, actually. But it wouldn't make much of a sense because the light would be a lot bigger compared to the light source. This one we can use it here, for example. There's a lot to test with, but we will do that later on. Let's do the important things first, and that would be adding a static mesh, which we need anyways. Let's just put this for now. I know it's small, it sucks and everything, but it's not what we're looking for now. It's a light bulb. It's enough. Now, we keep doing the same game always here. Yep, that's the right one. And let's build geometry for the time being. And as you can see, it looks a bit more like an actual room with lights, although the lighting hasn't been built yet. Okay, now I was saying we would work onto this room here, and this will do. Oh, unfortunate. Picked the wrong light to do the copycat on. Okay, here we might face the first problems. Or not. Okay, this one we might want to move it all together. Like that. Okay, now let's rebuild everything. Also because I moved the lights as well. It takes a little longer than building just the geometry. Okay, there's a bit of color mistake, lighting mistakes, lighting errors, but it doesn't really matter. We can always do it sometime later. We can address it. I'm even thinking to add more here than just these two. Wait, where am I? Oh, here. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one we will delete because it overlaps the other one and it looks a bit better. And again, rebuild. I know, it's a bit boring. And there you go. Okay, lighting looks a bit more full. Not quite perfect yet, but we'll have it enough for the moment. Okay, now you can see something a bit scarier here. But we'll address to it later on. We do these two first, and then I'll copy this one here over to this side. So we had one already prepared. And one here. Okay. That should be okay. Should. And now we should copy it over to the other side, but I think that I'll actually do two. Let me see how it looks. Nah, I think one is enough. Yeah, they are 14 blocks and yeah. This one here should be good. And let's rebuild. Again, lighting. After that we will take care of that green pillar that you can see on the background. Okay, and save. That's always useful to do. Now, and here some fears, which fortunately I don't need to have, because I thought the light was exactly as big as the side of this pillar or even bigger, but thankfully it's neither of those two things. So I'm just good to go. I just need to place them here. And this one here, which is going to be duplicated, of course. Yeah, that's right. And the one down there, I will need to do, again, copycat. This map is going to be a little bit of a copy and paste this part of the episode, but I'm aiming to do it quite soonish, so that we can concentrate a little bit more onto the decoration part, hopefully. Okay, now the hardest ones, and God, I hope this one is going to be the right one, because if not, it's going to be real crap. Don't run away. Don't you dare to run away. And of course they're not the right ones. Well, quite, damn it. Meaning I'll have to do the same game over and over again. Okay, so this is the guide, which I will use. So of course this one should go away, because otherwise I'll not be able to verify. Yeah, and as you can see, it hasn't been quite but I can do this little small trick. Which should and does work. Although it's... Huh. Optimize and align. Okay, now I don't understand why the lower face is off. Because of the height. Pretty sure. Okay, now again optimize and align. And perfect. Now build geometry. And that's quite good. Okay, I'm going to make a small alignment guide. And it does match. Okay, so we have our light at last. And now this one, which should not be too much of a problem. And let's see. So this is basically the orientation, however, yeah. What I feared was exactly this. That I would have to stretch it. Optimize and align. And then build everything. And after that, I'm going to take a very small break. Okay, I'm back now. So we have made the lights, and now we want to put the textures, the materials, to be more precise, and they were here. Okay. Now we have these three, which are going to be a bit of a pain. So I'm going to go the usual way. Yep. Okay, so this one is gonna be a bit bigger. Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? I've put the wrong orientation. I'm supposed to stay here. Ah, god damn it. Okay, let's redo it. Okay, here I just want to do it like this. Now front. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, roughly like that. Yeah. These ones are fine. And these ones are fine as well. And going back onto the top. Okay, there's still something off. Which is this thing here. Okay, build geometry. Hopefully we made it correctly. Or if not correctly, at least good. Okay. Should be passable. And now copycat. And thankfully, and hopefully, this one here should be also the last one of the floor slanted lights. Should. Not sure, but it should. It should. So let's see how it'll go as it's building. Okay. Beautiful. And I said it's the last one because there are also the slanted ceilings to do. And they are another bit of a pain. However, they should be... And I'm going to double check on that. No, they are not. They are not 45 degrees. Okay, this is going to be a pain in... right there. So let's just do them, and let's do them now, so that afterwards we won't have to do that. but at least we have some free view, relatively. No, something's wrong. This is also wrong. Because it should go here. There it should go. No. This is also very wrong. Guys, I feel stupid. I know, I feel stupid. Well, theoretically that would be correct. Okay. This would be theoretically correct. But just theoretically. This should also be... Yep, it is. So now I'm just going to scroll it with the axis locked. And they're all done. All four, and now just need to be careful to select the right ones and then just duplicate, again copycat without moving the actors possibly.
Okay. Let's build and see. There you go. Now it's a bit more decent looking. It looks slightly more realistic. Now the lights on the poles are missing, but I have them here ready already. And I think in this area we are also done. And again, build. Then we have this one here. And I think after that we have done them all here. Nope. We're missing these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing those 5, and then I would say we can proceed on this area, which is I think the most complex. Hi there, Kinara. I've just read your message. Kinara greets you all watchers, both live and or on YouTube. And hi there, back. So, after having done these, I guess we can just copy this one, because I think that's the easiest, fastest, and possibly most useful solution. And paste it right here. Yep. We will not build quite yet. Even though I reckon it would make a bit more sense if we go ahead from here. Yeah, let's go ahead from here. We are already in the area, so okay. Wait. I have one already. Kinara says, haha, how's it going? I'm a few years out of UT, but getting back into it. Got pinged on the Discord channel, thought I'd hang out. Thank you very much for the thought, it's really appreciated. And welcome back onto UT. And if you're also interested in knowing how to map or need an input, also because I'm not quite, so to speak, the UT, the Unreal Editor guru, but I have a little bit of experience. Well, I was saying, if you're interested to know the how-tos, I hope you'll find a good place here. And these ones, I have positioned them pretty bad. Now this one looks good. Yeah, it's on the same axis. Okay, same height. So we should be good to go. And now this one. Okay, that's also pretty centered. We've done these two, now it's time to do the third one. And the one under the bunker, the sniper area. Yep, that's the one. After that, I need to check if these are, yeah, they are the 250 ones. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't do anything. Okay, only both the aligned and the misaligned ones, so I think I'm just gonna copy them both. But I would prefer to take this one here. And as this one I've positioned it already, the other one I'm going to put it close to it so that I'll remember it. time to reselect it. Wrong viewport. And this one goes in here. And it should be lower. Yep. Okay, then I'll do it later. Let's do the other one first. This one here. Guys, of course, obviously, as always, if you have any questions of any kind, if I can answer them, I'll be more than happy to answer. There will be a lot of blocking voluming to do. Okay, I'm going to reselect them to confirm to myself that I've positioned them at the right place. And they are there. Oh, I didn't like this area of the map. That is weird. That is really weird. Thought I had it covered. Not a problem. Because I already know what lights to use. that, plus that one there. Save, and let's rebuild the whole thing. Okay, we've started from here. There is almost no light at all. No physical light, I mean. No brush. And there we have it. Oh, this one is missing. Okay. So that one is in position. Oh, I have those ceilings up there. Which I will do with this. Okay, for now, just the geometry, just to be sure. Yep, and we have them all. Consider that up here, instead of the sky, we will have some rock static meshes, but that one we will put after we're done with all the rest. Okay, that's cold light, and there are more slanted. But this time I'm ready, so I will do them right away. They should also be at the same height, so I should have no problem. They're just oriented on the other way. Ah, interesting. Thought they were on the same height. And apparently they weren't. Okay, so those have been by far the easiest slanted lights that I had. Okay, now let's do the warmer ones. One is here, one is here. And one is here. And let's build all. Okay, so we've got this place a little bit more lively. I wouldn't say lovely because it's in a real tournament arena, but... Ah, there's one I skipped. And those two lights came out perfectly out. Came out perfectly out. That's my English level right now. And now this one. Okay, this is going to bother me a bit because this is a small light which is slanted but oriented differently, and I cannot quite Okay, what I can do is rotate it like this here, then like this here and back here, and of course they're misaligned. So editor, align, and it came out good. Not gonna complain. I'm absolutely not going to complain. Okay, so there's a small one there as well. Here. No, wait. This is a big one. You know what? Those two lights, I'm going to delete them, and in their place I'll put these here. Ah! But I'd rather... no. Yep. I think I'll actually position it here first, because thanks to the light radius, to the attenuation radius, you see the line is perfectly aligned with the height of the source, so I know at which height it is going to be, and it is the right one. That's why I use grid, guys. That's why I use grids, plural. However, this one is different from the others. Because it is a bit lower. And so I would say also this area's been done. Something happened. I'm not sure what happened, but something happened. Outside the editor, I mean. This area still looks a bit dark to my own taste. And so does this one. But we will take care of it soon. And let's build. So I know which light sources have been built, so to speak, made or not. Took the last sip of my tea. And there you go. Now, urgent, let's save, because I haven't done it yet. Oh, I've put one light here as well. Didn't know. But now I do. And what I don't know is why did I put this doorway so low. Let's put an arch on top of it. Because yeah. Because arches. And we can delete this one and replace it with this one here. Because yeah. Because arches. Yeah, the path looks better. And there you go. Now the map looks a bit worse, as in lighting detail, because I haven't built it. Now let's do this area here. Actually, let's move onto this area first. And as of these lights... No, I need to build the lighting, guys, because I'm gonna get confused otherwise. Okay. All those lights, I would put them on the ceiling and like here, and add this additionally. And oddly enough, they're on the same height. No, this is wrong. I thought there were more. There is one more there, in fact. Now. Gonna take it slightly faster this time. If you guys don't mind. Okay, I have intentionally skipped this one because I wanted to make sure beforehand, and this is instead of being 550 like the default, this one is 350. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Only that one was not aligned. Okay, perfect, perfect. Ready to build all. Okay. We have apparently done this area, only the doorway is missing. Then after the doorway I'll do this area here. Oh my god, this one I have to delete it. And I will now. And in its place, I will do like... You know what? No. I'll take them both off. Incredible. Same height. But this is a bit too big. Obviously, so is the one on the other side. Perfect. This one is missing, which is a 280, but we can also do 250. It's not a problem. My voice is going away after 2 hours 24 minutes. Plus the previous stream that I've done on Unreal Tournament Blitz. Okay. This one needs to be added. Now I figured I would also and I'm not sure. Yeah, this one should be good. And after that, this one here. I think I would add here. Here should be good. Yeah, the lighting I did off camera is a bit approximative. Yep, that one should go. After that, hopefully this one should be enough, although at first glance it looks bigger. Huh. I would even dare to use this actually. Which is surprisingly good. Not gonna complain. Not gonna complain. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know, maybe these two I should remove them. This is lit enough for the time being. Up there it's a bit dark, but I'm fine with it for the moment, because that's supposed to be covered by rocks. Okay, so this is supposed to be the last part, the last area. After that, I think I will close the stream. Actually, I think I'm gonna close it now, because you know what I'm gonna do. I've been doing the same thing for basically 2 hours and 45 minutes, roughly. So you know what this episode was about. And with these images, I'm gonna thank you everyone for watching the stream and or the video. And on the next stream, by the next stream, I promise I will have these lightings done. I will also cover the volumetric part, that is blocking all those lights with blocking volumes, and we will do some PSP decorations on the floor, put the first marks and bits and bobs like that, but the waterfall, do a little bit more of decoration, and map release after that. So, I forgot to say also one thing. After this weekend, that is from Sunday more specifically, I will no longer be, basically I will no longer be at the computer until this date here. However, from here, because I'll be back in Germany at home, I will be working basically throughout all the summer, pretty much every day.
And although I will be online through the weekends, and during the weeks, I'll be available during the evening, but I don't know if I'll be streaming or doing any mapping at all. So I will just update myself like I've always done. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys with you next time. Cheers.